We are 3 days into September, and it seems like it's still August. It's like, what happened?
Well, the weather don't feel like August.
Amen to that. That is for sure.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes. We have something to be grateful for in that fashion. But here we are. It is Tuesday, which, of course, we had the long weekend. So a lot of folks just getting back to work, and some are still mixed up. They'll think it's Monday all day today. So, but enjoy it because the weather is pleasant. Quite pleasant. That's where we want to start here today.
Yeah, sunny, and as Dan said, I think the biggest thing yesterday was the temperature was actually up, but the humidity was way down, and that makes a big difference. Sunshine through Thursday with highs each day in the low to mid-80s. Then rain is a slight possibility on Friday, at least that's what they're saying now, but much cooler for the weekend with a daytime high of 69 and an overnight low of 45. So you might not need your, as we used to call it, our isher-disher at nighttime.
But if you're going to a soccer match or something like that that's being played outdoors, you may have a blanket ready to go.
Light sweater or something.
Stadium blanket. Dan Jr. and his crew went to Pigeon Forge for the weekend, and they just got back yesterday. And I was getting ready to burn some things. And I thought, before I burn anything, I'm going to blow these leaves out of the way. I can't get over how many leaves have fallen already.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously it's due to the drought. But Amelia wanted me to put them in a pile, and she wanted to jump into them. So we did.
So she didn't go to Pigeon Forge?
No, she went to Pigeon Forge.
She just came back for
She just happened to come back while I was leaf blowing, and her eyes got real big, and she wanted to jump right in. So we jumped right in. So... All right, coming up in a moment, what's making news? Sports. And this date in history. What date are we going back to?
I'm going to keep you guessing.
Oh, my. So you have to live through the perpetual tease.
That's right.
One Mike Smith. All right, coming up in a moment, news. But first, let's tell you about Haynes Total Health Care Center. Chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs. They've been doing this for our community now for 50 years. So if you want to stop in, learn more about Haynes, you can do so. I think I said Medical Drive here recently, but the address is a different address. It's One Health Drive, which is off of Marietta Road here in Chillicothe. And you can find them on the World Wide Web as well at HaynesHealth.com. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it'll take you right to their website to learn more about Haynes Total Health Care Center. Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today. And if you take a look at our website, littermedia.com, you can see some of the stories we're going to be discussing in the program here today. But there are some things that we don't put on our website. We reserve for our social media. So check us out on Litter Media X and also here on Facebook, as well as Spotify to hear interviews that we've done and Litter Media Radio. How do you find the radio? It's all on the front page of our website. Check it out now.
It's still county fair season in our area. In fact, in Highland County, the Highland County Fair is in full swing. Located there in Hillsborough. In fact, we were over that way yesterday, and a lot of people apparently just getting off the fairgrounds to take a little bit of a break before going. A lot of cowboy boots. I saw people wearing yesterday. But as a result, since it is school year, this has been, golly, I can't even remember how many years. I can remember with my cousin when we were kids, this was the case. All Highland County schools are out this week for their county fair, which runs through the Saturday.
It's been similar over in Fairfield County for a number of years. I remember when Ron Hinton started coaching here at Chillicothe, it was like, this is my first time of ever having to not worry about the fair during the football season.
Right.
So only that first week of two-a-days and everything with the Ross County Fair. The USDA has designated 22 Ohio counties as primary natural disaster areas due to the ongoing drought conditions. Director Baldridge joined State Representative Don Jones to visit 3 impacted counties here in southern Ohio on August 29th to talk with farmers and local leadership about their concerns. Almost 12 of these counties include Ross County, Pike, Pickaway, Highland, Fayette, Jackson, Vinton, Hocking, and Fairfield counties. And I wondered how the farmers will be impacted for the Highland County Fair. You know, some of these guys are having to do some harvest already.
Yeah.
And also, hopefully they'll get a bit of a respite here during this week of the fair. But I feel sorry for them because I know they lost a lot of soybean acreage and everything.
Yeah, of course, during the harvest, that's where they'll see what the yield is. And this designation will play a role in whether or not they qualify for crop insurance if the yields are dramatically lower.
I think that's going to be the case.
Yeah. Franklin House Museum will have free admission for their open house September the 14th from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. The Ross County Heritage Center will also be open that day with free admission. And again, that's coming up on September the 14th. Join the Friends of Hopewell Culture National Historical Park at the Mound City Group Visitor Center on September the 19th for activities and fun commemorating the 1-year anniversary as a World Heritage Site. I can't believe it's been a year already.
You were there. You saw it happen.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing that it's been a year already.
Time flies. Haven House of Pickaway County will host their 12th annual Drive-By Fish Fry. I like that. It's Drive-By Fish Fry Friday, if you have to say that fast 5 times. September 20th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Haven House is located at 111 Island Road in Circleville. They do some great work for the people of Pickaway County. Registration is still on for the tour of the Scioto River Valley, also known as TOSARV, September 21st and 22nd. Bucket list cycling tradition since 1962 began as a father-son adventure and blossomed into a beloved annual tradition for cyclists of all levels. For many years, it was over Mother's Day weekend, but now it's in September 21st and 22nd. I will tell you, they started in 1962, going down 104. I was born in 1962 in the new house that the Ramies had on 104. So this has been going on my entire life, and it grew from just that handful of people to a large group of people on bicycles. And I will tell you, a lot of folks here have seen them come through Chillicothe and Circleville. But for a young kid growing up and seeing those bikes, it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I got to a point where I was selling them water, and Dad got on to me.
No lemonade?
No lemonade. They would give me money for water. I thought, who's going to pay for water? How many bottles of water do you see in the store these days?
You started that.
Yeah, and I've only benefited about that much.
Now, did you have a bucket and a ladle that you were letting them drink?
Yeah, well, I took our big cooler thermos thing out of the camper and put it out there. I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to be watching them. Why not help them?
Young entrepreneur, Dan Ramey.
Yeah, and you saw how that worked out.
The Ohio Department of Transportation announcing that they have what's called a virtual open house. This is not something new, but we're seeing more of these type of things going on. And this particular one is to learn more about the proposed project to widen U.S. Route 33 from Refugee Road in Franklin County to Hill Diley Road in Fairfield County. Now, the public input is an important part of the project development process and provides valuable feedback that helps guide decision-making through all phases of development. Now, this project, again, which is widening, $128 million, and it won't start until the summer of 2026. Now, if you get into our story, there's a link that gives you more information, and there's a map of all of this. A very slim piece of this is in Fairfield County. However, how many people in Fairfield County travel Route 33 to Columbus? A lot of people. So
Just
this is going to impact a bunch of people over there in the Fairfield County area. And maybe even some of us if we're trying to go from point A to point B.
I will tell you that going to Logan is quicker to go up to Lancaster and back down to it from here than it is to go 56.
Got some news from the American Red Cross over the weekend. In fact, an emergency blood shortage after a shortfall of more than 19,000 blood donations in the month of July. A robust blood supply is critical for accident victims, surgical patients, and people with cancer. It's the blood on the shelves that helps in times of an emergency. So simply, if you can physically give blood, look for a blood drive in your area. You can just get on the Red Cross blood site, and they've got a calendar of events. You can go by zip code. It'll show you every place in your community over the month that has a blood drive.
According to that graphic, bring that back up here again, it looks like Florida is the only state that is fully taken care of.
Yeah.
I know it's just a representation of we have all this need for blood. And we have often heard that the need is constant. 97% or 3% of the 97% who are eligible to give blood give blood.
Right.
So
it's kind of like those that pay taxes. Just that many pay and everybody else benefits. Yeah.
I got that text over the weekend. I know the constant need for blood, but I can't give again until September 27th.
Right. You gotta
because of so even when you do give blood, you have that certain period of time. So we need extra donors to take care of those time periods where we have to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've never given blood before, you can always go in. They'll do a little stick test to see if you're anemic or whatever, low iron, to help you to find out whether you can or cannot.
And here's a tip. You can take some chewable vitamins, like Flintstones chewable vitamins. That will help out to increase your iron count. But also, don't drink sweet tea or iced tea beforehand.
Never heard that one.
Because a lot of times that will lower your iron count. I found that out by mistake. Got deferred one time when I went to make the donation, and they said, "What did you have to drink last night?" And I said, "Well, I had a steak dinner to help boost the protein and everything in my blood, but I had that sweet tea with it, and that canceled it."
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, you learned something today. Road report in Pickaway County. State Route 188 between Ringgold Northern Road and State Route 674 is closed or will be closed September the 9th. That's next Monday through that Friday, the 13th, for a culvert replacement. During that stretch, the detour will be on Route 674 to US 22 to State Route 188. And there you have it.
All right. Coming up shortly, sports. Details next. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. When you're in need of a dumpster, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters. Call Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389. That's 253-8389. They'll bring a dumpster to wherever you need it and for however long you need it, and whether it's your residence or your business. Scioto Valley Dumpsters is the one you need to call. 740-253-8389.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Whenever I first applied for the ArchWiz opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Time for sports, and whether it's pickup basketball in the backyard, we're not going to report on that today, but there are some things that happened over the weekend.
Yeah, and of course you can check that out on our Litter Media scoreboard at littermedia.com. Most everybody was off yesterday, but action returns tonight, and there's just a list, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, all of the volleyball, soccer that's going on. There'll probably be some golf matches that we'll be made aware of later on this evening. Also, in high school sports, coming up this Friday, Litter Media Radio will be heading up into Pickaway County. We were up there a lot last year at Logan Elm, going to see the Braves as they host the Miami Trace Panthers in a non-conference game. And this will be going back to 7 o'clock kickoff. We had 7:30 at last Friday night with airtime at about 6:50. And, of course, don't forget Thursday at noon, we'll have our live preview show with hopefully coaches' comments and a little background on this particular game.
We did this game 2 years ago as our Litter Media game of the week. We didn't have Litter Media Radio at the time. But if you want to see that action, you can go to our YouTube channel, and there's highlights from previous seasons that go back to 2018. And that also includes this past Friday's game, Eastern. And I know it looks like the Cleveland Browns white uniforms, but Eastern taking on Huntington. You can see that now on our YouTube channel. Put it up there yesterday. Is that right, Mr. Hand 2?
Yes.
Yes. Have you noticed anything different about Mr. Hand 2 today?
No glasses.
There's more to it. Than
No facial. Well, there's still a little bit there.
Would you like to step in front of the camera so Big would see?
No, I'll keep that a surprise for him.
He wants to be the radio guy.
Yeah. He doesn't look like. Remember Lou Grant, the TV show?
Yes, I do.
And the photographer that was on there, Animal. That's kind of what he reminds me of.
And wasn't that there was a Muppets Animal too, right?
Yes.
Kind of was.
Yeah, he was the drummer.
Yeah, the drummer, right?
Yeah.
Always showed his teeth.
Well, that was Mr. Teeth or Dr. Teeth from the band there. He had the nice teeth. Animal had the teeth that was coming after you. So OSU had a big second half. It took a while for them to get started, but then they couldn't stop. I was telling my wife when we were watching it, I said, I know there are people complaining already. Why isn't it 82-3 right now? And eventually it almost got there. 52-6, the final score. I hope someone was keeping Akron's quarterback on watch.
Oh, my.
He took a beating.
He was in pain.
Absolutely. So who's the next victim? Who's Ohio State play next?
You know, I don't even know.
I forgot to even look.
I've been focused so much on the Oregon game, which I think is in 2 weeks out there. So.
I want to say it's like Western Michigan or something. I'll take a look for it and find it for you here in just a
Western
moment.
Kentucky, who knows?
Well, that's who played Western Kentucky played somebody.
Was that Alabama?
This weekend, and it was like 69.
That was not pretty.
No, not at all. The Ohio Bobcats bested by Syracuse. Who was the quarterback for Syracuse?
The Buckeyes quarterback, Mr. McCord from last year, and I guess he had a great game, 300 and some yards or whatever. So.
Yeah, 36-22, and I think one of the lines over the weekend was by Syracuse head coach. I need to send some champagne to Ryan Day for making him available to us.
Yeah.
So
it made it sound like they kicked McCord off a team, which they did not. They just didn't give him the NIL money.
Well, that plus I think
I guarantee you're going to be the guy.
The constant criticism by Ohio State fans, I think, helped lead to that.
A good day for Major League Baseball teams in the state of Ohio yesterday. The Redlegs beat the Houston Astros by a score of 5-3. Now, this is kind of unusual. They're taking today off, and then they'll resume this series tomorrow. And then the Guardians were a winner over the Royals. You might remember last week we were talking about how bad, I think the Guardians only won 1 out of 4.
3-1.
So they got off to a good start yesterday with a 4-2 win over KC.
What is it with the Astros and the Reds? The Reds have won 7 straight games against Houston.
Yeah.
It's almost like seeing Pittsburgh come to Cincinnati. Yeah, the Pittsburgh
now,
seems
is this the first time they've played Houston without Dusty Baker as their manager? Since they were in the American League.
I think that's the case.
I forgot Dusty retired.
Yeah.
The guy they were showing, I thought, well, who's this guy? So.
Yeah, and now Dusty's son, and I can't remember if he's the one that was pulled out of the way during, was it the World Series? When he was managing San Francisco. A run was coming in. He was the bat boy going out to get the bat, and here came a go-ahead run and everything, and they pulled him out of the way. I think he's now playing for the Washington Nationals.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of cool.
Look at the time.
And, yes, Ohio State is hosting Western Michigan this coming Saturday, 7:30 on the Big Ten Network.
Oh, my gosh. DirecTV.
ESPN.
I turned it on and watched the U.S. Open yesterday. Every channel was gone. Anything Disney, I guess, is off because Freeform channel was also gone yesterday. You sports fans will be squawking.
I've got a streaming TV, so I can watch the streaming stuff.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
I don't. That's sports.
Now it really stinks when I don't have electric or I don't have the internet. But this is one of those moments where, hey, I remember we had the dial-up internet for 21 years where we live before I could get high-speed internet. And I recall the power going out and nobody could say anything on the internet. But I had dial-up, buddy, and I had phone service, and I was, how great it is to have the old-fashioned internet.
Yeah. So. It sounded so strange, the Ohio State game coming on Saturday on CBS.
It did.
Because they've been the SEC network for how long?
And I thought to myself, I think the only time I've ever seen them on CBS is when they played in a bowl game.
But did you see the two, Gary and Brad, their first broadcast together 32 years ago was in Ohio Stadium.
Yeah.
So
I was telling Missy, I said, Gary Danielson, you know who that guy is? And she's like, no. I said he's the quarterback for the Browns when he got hurt just before halftime against the Patriots. I was there because Garen Veras was playing his rookie year, and he had thrown an interception. Ron Claiborne was my high school principal.
He just got a promotion.
Raymond Claiborne had intercepted it, and Gary Danielson, with his throwing arm, he goes to dive and do one of these chop kind of tackles, and it dislocated his shoulder. And who came in to take the final snap of the first half? Bernie Kosar.
Some kid.
And what happened on that first snap? He fumbled the football.
Yeah. So the Browns' first game is against the Cowboys, and some guy named
Tom Brady
is going to be the color commentator.
Yes.
In that ball game.
He's going to be a great color commentator.
Kind of interesting. Interested to see how he'll do. So.
And who's he going to get to see at halftime? The Ohio State marching band is going to be playing at
That's
halftime.
Appropriate. Yeah. This for you, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And may as well keep the connection going. The Bengals will host the New England Patriots on Sunday.
There you go.
I'm kind of concerned about the game for the Browns because it's a 4:25 kickoff, and I've got church at 6 o'clock.
You don't think they can make it without
So
you?
don't tell me what happens.
Pray extra hard on your church, Dan.
I will. Remember when TiVo came out and they had the guy watching it and they're getting ready to get a game-winning field goal, and he pauses the DVR, runs to the church, and he prays, comes back, turns it on, and he makes the
field goal. Yeah.
That's me. All right, coming up, this state in history. Are you going to let us know now, or are you going to still make us wait?
I think if I tell you that it'll give it away. I think we have enough history-minded people out there. This is a dead giveaway if I give you a date.
All right.
All right.
Kids,
stay tuned. Speaking of history, 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people. Who are we talking about?
Litter Quality Propane.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. Had to call these guys last week. The air conditioner stopped. Mom was not happy. Now she's happy.
She's happy.
Because it works. And in fact, when speaking of accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing, when the young man showed up, he says, "This is going to be a quick fix. I got a feeling I know what it is." And he comes in and he puts the gauge on whatever part it was, and it was, the output was like 0.006. And he put the new piece on, and it was 100% efficiency.
Attaboy.
Changed everything. Changed the rest of the week. I had a fantastic week at home thanks to accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing. Your trusted comfort advisor. What was that?
He had a great week. He had a great week at home, yeah. If you fell asleep during history class, you probably think World War II started on December 7th of 1941.
No, that was our involvement, wasn't it?
It did not. Yeah. It started on this date in 1939 in response to Hitler's invasion of Poland. Britain and France, both allies of the overrun nation, declare war on Germany. However, there is an American connection to this. The first casualty of that declaration was not German, but the British ocean liner Athenia, which was sunk by a German U-30 submarine that had assumed the liner was armed and belligerent. There were more than 1,100 passengers on board. 112 of them lost their lives, but 28 of them were Americans. But President Roosevelt was unfazed by the tragedy, declaring that no one was to, quote, thoughtlessly or falsely talk of America sending its armies to European fields. So the U.S. stayed neutral for more than 2 years before we were attacked in December 7th, 41. Germany declared war on the United States the next day. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, Adolf, what were you thinking about? But I guess when you're puffed up with pride and power, you think you can lick the world. And That was the beginning of the end.
So 1939, that was where I guess the first time I heard about isolationists. That term was being thrown around a lot in 1939. Not that I was there, but when we were studying history, it's like, what's an isolationist? It means you're going to be on the pot or get off of it,
Right.
in that regard. Yeah. So, and I'm not talking about marijuana.
Life is good. Yeah.
You never know what's going to come up during this program.
Oh, my.
All right.
This is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
It was a holiday, yeah.
Yes. Trying to remember who's our guest for tomorrow.
Shad Kaplinger.
Yes. So keep your nose clean.
Matt Bruning even heard about this interview.
Well, he encouraged Shad to reach out and do this. But Shad Kaplinger is a former Chillicothe Cavalier. Of course, once you're a Cavalier, always a Cavalier. His dad, of course, was Doug, was involved with the Chillicothe Police Department for many years, retired from there. And Shad kind of followed Dad's suit, only with the Ohio State Highway Patrol. He's going to be in to talk about some safety tips and everything for us as we progress.
And we want to know about that QR code on the back of the cruiser.
You saw that, did you?
Well, Matt Bruning was telling me in church on Sunday. He said, isn't that something? I've been on those guys for years about that.
Yeah. Well, and to explain what it is, I was following a state patrolman out Western Avenue. We were stopped at the traffic light there at Veterans Parkway, and I'm looking at the back end of the car, and I see all the usual stuff, but then I see a QR code, and I'm like, what's that QR code there for? And then it says, join the OSP. Yeah. And I thought to myself, oh, okay, so it's a recruitment tool. But wait a second. Last year at this time, didn't they make a law saying that you couldn't? So my Facebook post was along the lines of, what's this mean? Or is this an entrapment tool?
I guess you just have to be at a traffic light stopped before you can take a picture of that QR code.
See when they stop to get lunch or something and they're sitting there parked at some point in time. Or be a passenger in the car behind them.
That's correct.
And you could use your smartphone to do that.
There you go.
But other than that,
we walk that fine line.
Yes.
Which I thank the Lord I've never had to do, walk that straight line with a highway patrolman overseeing.
So when he pulls in tomorrow, I'm going to see if he has the new cruiser. The new cruiser shouldn't have the recruitment tool on it, unless you follow the stipulations that we just laid out for you there. And we'll make it a subject of conversation, either on camera or off camera. All right, so we'll see you again tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live.